Hey Darksiders, it is that time of the week again. It is time for Darkside TV. Bow, bow, bow. I have moved again. I've just realised that I could totally sit down while I talk to you guys, which would give my legs a rest after a busy day. And I should hopefully be able to reach things a little bit easier. I'm going to jump straight in with this. Again, I'm going to try and get this in under 15 minutes. Let's see if I can manage. So, here is all the good news stuff for tomorrow. First up, we have Domino issue 4 from Marvel. The Domino series has been absolutely excellent. It's definitely one for Deadpool fans, Mockingbird fans. The art has been gorgeous, it's funny, it's action-packed, it's brilliant. We have She Could Fly from Dark Horse Comics, which I have not read yet, but I am very intrigued by the front cover. Full of unexpected pleasures, masterful, joyful, poignant, a must read. It's written by the co-creator of AMC's acclaimed Halt and Catch Fire. I was going to see if there was a little thing about it, but there is not. Basically, there is someone who can fly in it. I've just seen someone eat a cactus. There's some very adult themes in there. It looks like a kind of bizarre, potentially horror-esque type thing. Definitely horror-esque. I'm getting, it might be one for people who read, what was it called? Regression. It looks like it has some similarities to Regression, and it is only a 4-issue miniseries, so not a huge, great big long one to commit to. We have some more True Believers, which are Fantastic Four versus Doctor Doom. These ones are, as I've mentioned before, True Believers books are reprints of old stuff from Marvel. They're £1. They go in both our back issue boxes and our bargain bin, and they're a great quick read. They're a good one for kids as well, as most of them are all ages, although not all of them. There's some adult Wolverine stuff in there as well. We have issue 3 of Deadpool Assassin, of which we do still have issue 1 and 2 if you need to catch up on that. We have issue 1 of X-23 from Marvel, which is a new series featuring your girl Laura Kinney, who a lot of you were first introduced to in the new Logan movie. Obviously, as a little girl, she's a little bit grown up in the comics. I'm quite hopeful about that, actually. We then have one for the kiddies, or just like those lifelong Pixar fans. I know who you are. Incredibles 2 comics. These are super cute. Crisis in Midlife and Other Stories Part 1. So there's going to be a couple of these. I think they're all little mini stories, which I really like. Super easy for people to just pick up and read. If, like over here in the UK, we don't get the movie for a while yet, so this might help tide you over. I also love this art as well. I feel like the Incredibles were born to be comics. So we have issue 1 of Rob Guillory's Farmhand, which I have been lucky enough to read. It is, if you like Chew, it's by the same guy who does Chew, or one of the guys that does Chew, and it definitely has a Chew vibe to it. It's quite dark, it's funny, but this goes a little bit more into, shall we say, technological advancements and sort of a future, basically where you can grow limbs and stuff. I don't want to tell you too much about the story, but I would really strongly recommend it. It's really good. If you like Chew, if you like stuff that's sort of darkly humorous and a little bit gory is the wrong word, but just kind of, it's got a bit of a Black Mirror vibe, but way more lighthearted. Kind of way more lighthearted. It's very, very good. Darkly comedic, really interesting idea behind it, and sort of a tale of the future, which I always find interesting. We have issue 3 out of Coda tomorrow, which actually features my favourite cover this week. I'm not sure who it's by because I don't recognise the signature. But it's stunning, and I love it. It's giving me cosplay once for sure. We have the first issue of the new Amazing Spider-Man run. It's a big, huge, beefy issue, so it's $5.99 just because it's a bit bigger. But if you've been wanting to jump on with some Peter Parker, the Amazing Spider-Man has got you covered. This looks like it will be a sort of return to classic Spidey, as Amazing Spider-Man usually is. So I've got some copies of that. I have I believe this is issue 4 of Isola. These don't tend to have issue numbers on the front, but I think I've deducted that possibly these, like the amount of these there is, might be the issue number, I think. Please prove me wrong if I'm wrong. We've got another True Believers, which is Fantastic Four, Hulk versus the Thing. And we have one, again, that I've been lucky enough to read early, which is Ruin World. This is a 5-issue miniseries from Boom. Super, super cute. It reminds me of something, but I can't quite figure out what. It has a I Hate Fairyland vibe, but it's definitely kid friendly. It's got a Scales and Scoundrels vibe to it. It's got a kidified version of World's End sort of feel to it. It would make a really good video game, actually. It's basically a sort of Dungeons and Dragons-esque story for all ages, featuring little animal protagonists. It's funny. It's full of action. It's really, really good. The art's really cute in it as well. It's just a really solid book. Like, I don't know anyone that wouldn't enjoy this. I feel like across the board, kids, adults, pretty much everybody is going to enjoy this. I really liked it, actually. Really, really solidly good book. So that is Ruin World. We then have, and this is a bit of an anomaly, those of you who have been reading the Oblivion Song might know about this already, I don't know. Basically, Robert Kirkman has a new book, which I believe is called Die, Die, Die. Blood-soaked, bullet-riddled, ultra-violent mayhem from Skybound. So this is a surprise book. I don't believe any information's been leaked about it. It looks hyper-violent, just from flicking through it. Typical Robert Kirkman fare. I know little to nothing about this book because, like I said, it has been a surprise for retailers. So interesting, really interesting concept actually what they've done with that. So there we go. Into graphic novels, we have got, oh my god, this is probably one of the best Golden books to come in a while. It is Avengers: The Threat of Thanos, and I love that they've done this. Obviously, with Infinity War having come out, Thanos being at the front of everything at the moment, I think this is such a cute idea. These little Golden books are for young readers. They're in our 4 and under section, and they're only £4.50, and they're like that kind of tough, almost cardboard stuff, so they're a bit tougher for little chewy baby teeth. We have restocked our DC Superhero Girls section because somehow we'd run out. So we have a few more copies of the colouring book in, along with, I believe, all the volumes so far of the main comics. There's absolutely loads there. We've got Finals Crisis, Pastimes of Superhero High, Date with Disaster, Hits and Myths, Summer Olympus. So I believe that's all of them so far. So that will go on the shelf with our other DC Superhero Girls books. Then we have some more graphic novels. We have restocks of My Best Red-Headed Boy, which is Archie. If you've been watching Riverdale, if you're missing Riverdale at the moment while it's off TV, come and pick up the Archie stuff, come and pick up the Jughead stuff. It's so good. Like, I will sing these books' praises till the cows come home because I'm enjoying them so much. I have Archie and Jughead in my collection myself, and honestly, the stuff that Archie Comics are putting out kind of in line with Riverdale has been fantastic. So strongly recommend. If you've come in here and you watch Riverdale and you haven't told me that, then come and update me because I love Riverdale and can talk about it all day long. Likewise for the comic books. We have restocks of one of my old favourites, which is Chew. With Farmhand coming out this week, it seemed appropriate to get Chew in. Chew is one of my favourites. I'm actually going to be rereading it soon. It is about a guy called Tony Chew, who's on the front cover here. He's a detective for a sort of FBI kind of agency, but he has the power to get psychic impressions from whatever he eats. So if he ate a burger, he could see what's happened to the cow, but if he ate the severed finger of a murder victim, he could see what happened to the murder victim. So it is violent and darkly funny. It's not violent, I don't think, in a gratuitous way, but just in a kind of funny way. If you've got quite a dark sense of humour, Chew is definitely going to be up your street. They were actually supposed to be doing an animated series of this a while ago with Robin Williams in. Yeah, I love Chew. I'm obsessed with Chew. I would actually recommend, if you're into your dark humour, you like stuff like Plastic, Big Man Plans, I would recommend grabbing both Chew and Farmhand. Next up we have this gorgeous Dark Crystal colouring book from Boom. They did a Labyrinth one of these as well. These are big deluxe size colouring books with some stunning artwork in them. From people like Dylan Burnett, George Corona, Brandon Dayton and Jay Lee, who did the most recent comic series. They're huge pages. What I love about these is they have the page and then a blank page next to it, which means in theory you won't colour through and ruin the one behind it, which I feel is like a real issue with colouring books. And they're on gorgeous paper as well, so there we go. I would love to show the inside, but I'm not allowed. We have restocks of Jughead. We have restocks of Preacher because season 3 has just gone up on Amazon Prime. We have this incredible hardback picture book called Run Wild, which is also from Boom. When all of civilization begins turning into animals, only 2 people remain. Young siblings Ava and Flynn. On a desperate search for their mother and safety, they'll traverse a wild and unruly landscape, make friends and foes of all species, and discover what really makes them human. Explore the incredible lengths people go to realize their dreams. I think this is one that I got a little bit of a preview of, not the whole thing, and it is stunningly beautiful. It looks like more of an adult graphic novel than a kid's book. It's definitely more of an adult graphic novel, I would say, but that's just from a quick flick. Only because the artwork in it is something else. It looks a bit ghosty, a bit otherworldly. That said, I'm pretty sure, just flicking through, there's nothing that doesn't look super adult. I don't want to say until I've read it, but yeah, gorgeous, out tomorrow. Volume 2 of The Amazing Scales and Scoundrels, which is a Critical Role / Adventure Zone / D&D style fantasy romp for fans of Rat Queens, everything magical and mystery basically, and fantasy. Volume 2 out tomorrow. We have Sleepless from Image Comics, which I actually read the first couple of issues of and I thought was beautiful. The art in it is gorgeous. Basically, this lady is a princess, and she has a knight, which is this guy who is tasked with protecting her. Treacherous waters of life, growing feelings for one another. Very lush in terms of characters and world. Sort of a fantasy fairy tale in the vein of something like Labyrinth. It's a beautiful book. We've then got The Thrilling Adventure Hour, which I believe is based on a podcast. I haven't listened to it, and one of my regulars who reads this also hasn't listened to it but still loved the comics. It's been ages since this was out in singles, so finally the graphic novel is out. This collects the whole lot, which is The Thrilling Adventure Hour presents Beyond Belief. Meet Frank and Sadie Doyle, toast of the upper crust. Headliners on the society pages, and oh yes, they see ghosts. Trading quips and tossing back cocktails, the Doyles take what they want and hoodwink their clientele for the rest. Ghosts, vampires, werewolves, mummies, even diabolical gingerbread man, and nothing but obstacles in the way of the liquor cabinet for our fast-talking, hard-drinking sleuths. I feel like that covers it all. It's a rip-roaring adventure that harkens back to the heyday of old-time radio entertainment. So if you like that kind of old aesthetic of the Fallout games, if you liked Goners by George Corona and Jacob Semen, if you like Hellboy, any of that sort of stuff, The Thrilling Adventure Hour Beyond Belief is definitely going to be up your spooky street. And the last of the new graphic novels is Transformers Lost Light by a longtime store friend and one of my favourite human beings on earth, Jack Lawrence, on art duties. I have heard incredible things about Lost Light. I personally have never read any Transformers, but the stuff that James Robert and Jack Lawrence have been doing with Transformers Lost Light has been some of the biggest hype I've seen in a long time surrounding the Transformers, so that is now out. Then we've got a couple of bits of new stuff. We have this amazing mug, which I feel like I definitely need one of, that says I am a Khaleesi, with this dragon on it. If you actually look, I just realised it says I am not a princess, I am a Khaleesi, which I love. It's black, that sort of like, oh, it's got little dragon claw marks as well. Black and gold, gorgeous. I really like the shape of this. I think it's really different. I actually think that would make a really nice makeup brush holder, just saying. I then have the new pop of Dash from The Incredibles 2, super cute. So that's Dash and Jack Jack we've got in. And lastly, on the new stuff, This is not going to look too impressive flat, but it is a comic box featuring your boy Bruce Wayne. Oh no, did I just give away his identity? Yellow and black, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous thing. Obviously comic boxes typically are just white, or sort of flat colours. Although I don't know, I say that, I don't think I've ever actually seen any coloured ones, but I have Captain America ones and these Batman ones now. I only have a couple because they are a bit more expensive, so your normal boxes are sort of 4 or 5 quid. These are more in the 10 to 15 pound range, but I will say I have the Captain America ones myself. I have 2 of them. They are super strong. Obviously I lift up the ones in here quite a lot. Comparatively, my Captain America ones are super strong. The outside is like shiny laminated, it's not just cardboard. The lids fit flush on the boxes, so the design matches up. They really are, you really are getting 10 to 15 quid's worth of box from those. I know that sounds insane, but my Captain America ones I was really, really impressed with. I was literally expecting to pay that money for a cardboard box with a picture of my boy on it, but it turns out it was actually a superior product, which is what you'd hope for when you pay that much. So yes, I think I've got like 1, maybe 2 of the Captain America ones left and 2 of these Batman ones. They do fold obviously up like comic boxes, and you should be able to still see the design. I really like the black and yellow classic colours. If you guys like those boxes and if they sell, I will look at getting more. What I don't want to do is get a ton of the high-end boxes that then just sit there, so let me know. Vote with your wallets is what they say. Yeah, so that's all the new stuff. I realise I've gone over 15 minutes, but that's alright. I did a bit of a waffle. There's loads of new stuff. There's still a bunch of new number ones. I've still got Blackwood, which is a Goosebumps sort of horror. I've got By Night, which is by the guy who did Giant Days. I've still got Captain America, which I've now read and was really blown away by, considering I'm a big Steve Rogers fan. He's finally gone back to being the good boy that we know and love. And it felt quite iconic, that issue of him returning to that, and also Bucky featured prominently. I still have issue 1s of Catwoman, bearing in mind I have not read any of the recent Batman run and I could still make sense of Catwoman, plus Joelle Jones' drawing and her art is out of this world. We still have number 1s of Beneath the Dark Crystal. We have issue 1 and 2 of the new Deadpool series. We have issue 1 and 2 and now 3 of Deadpool Assassins, which is another Deadpool series, a mini-series. We have issue 1 of Doctor Strange, only 1 copy left. What else? We've still got issue 1s of Tony Stark Iron Man, so if you need that fix, you know where to get it. We've got The Last Siege, which is a Game of Thrones-esque medieval drama. We have got Modern Fantasy, which is an Adventure Zone / Critical Role D&D kind of modern, literally fantasy story, but set modern with like offices and stuff. We have copies of issue 1 of Proxima Centauri, which is sort of an abstract fantasy sci-fi thing. We have issue 1 still of Stella, which is just a straight sci-fi space stuff. We have issue 1s of Marvel Rising, Squirrel Girl and Miss Marvel. All the superhero adventures so far, including Spider-Man, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, Kate Bishop. We have issue 1s of The Weatherman, which is one of my favourites recently from Image Comics, about a guy who lives on a terraformed Mars, wakes up one day and gets told he destroyed Earth, but he doesn't remember doing it. So there is loads of stuff. There's tons of new graphic novels. I've rearranged all the shelves so they look absolutely wonderful. And I've done a load of new tags. We've got pops on sale. We've got so much stuff. We have our exclusive Dark Side Comics tote bags featuring our new mascot Donnie. I have sent those off to the printers, so they will be coming in within the next couple of weeks. I'm estimating around 8 to 10 days. It's purely the printing process now that I'm waiting on, and they are going to be £6. They're going to be super good for carrying your comics. They're way less wasteful than plastic bags. They're going to cost me less in the long run because plastic bags end up being super expensive, and they're reusable obviously, whereas a lot of plastic bags degrade over time. They're better for the environment. They look cool as hell. You're going to be repping the Dark Side Comics, which is always awesome and much appreciated. And it's just going to be one of those things where it's like, oh, I have to pick up my comics today. Oh, I'll take my comics bag. It makes sense. Keeps them protected as well, which I know is important to everybody. And that was part of my reason behind getting tote bags. They're a bit more protective, especially in our unpredictable British weather. We have our Disney Day coming up on the 4th of August. So that's just under a month away. Snow White's going to be there. Ariel's going to be there. Sleeping Beauty's going to be there. There's going to be a bunch of characters for everybody to meet. If you have costumes, please feel free to rock those. There'll be a bunch of good stuff happening in the store that day. Details are in our event section. We are going to plan the next ladies night soon, so again it's now ladies plus night. If you join the ladies night group, it is in our group section. Basically check out the group section and the event section and all that stuff in the side, because that has all the information you need. I think that is everything. I've waffled for a long time. We're now about to hit 20 minutes. So I'm going to sign off. Come hang out this week. Check out the new stuff. Pick something up to read and be inspired by. And mainly to read it either in the sun if you're that kind of person, or if you're like me, inside with a fan. Cool. I think that is everything. You're all amazing. Have a wonderful week. I will see you this week, I hope. But mostly, I'll see you on the dark side.